What's up everyone, ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Mezco 1/12 Collective. This is Shazam action figure. This is a figure I got back, I want to say about a couple years ago, and I have not regretted it since. I was more than happy to pay the, what was it, I think it was, believe it, around $80 at the time. This guy is going super rare for some reason now. I think a lot of it has to do with the movie coming out, but I digress. Here's the packaging right here. I obviously have the figure out of the packaging, so when I open this little bad boy up, you will see the figure not in there. But anyway, it does come with this nice little slip in the front, and you just want to remove that slip. After you remove the slip, you can open the box artwork up, and you can see a nice depiction of Billy Batson right there. Looks really cool. It's kind of the transition from Billy to Shazam, or slash, I still like to call him Captain Marvel. But there you go. And then opening onto the other side, you've got all of his accessories, which we'll get to in a second. And then I really like the nice red and yellow artwork going throughout the packaging. Looks really cool. Very nicely done. We've got some really cool pictures right here. We got a nice silhouette picture in the background of Billy just kind of looking heroic right there. And then we got a nice little cool grinning face right there. And then over here we've got this kind of badass looking Shazam, you know. Looks awesome with the whited out eyes and the screaming face. And then all the other accessories that he does come with are featured at the bottom here. So it looks really cool. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at the figure, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back with the action figure here. And I got to say, just overall impressions really quick before I get to accessories and everything. Here he is, nonetheless, taking a look at Shazam. He looks fantastic. I really like the way that he turned out as far as the face sculpt go. That I just have to pose him with that that grinning face sculpt and the fists on the hip, you know, that classic kind of Shazam looking pose. He just looks so happy to be a hero, and you know. And I like the red. It does. I don't know whether it's just mine, but it looks like it's not that that dark of a red. It's kind of like a more vibrant red. But it looks good nonetheless. I love the cloth cape. The cloth cape, just cloth in general on him, I think is pretty well done. Some Mezco figures do come off a little lean with the cloth suits, but I think with him it fits perfectly. You know. This is definitely a high quality figure. I just can't get over this grinning face. It's so cool and so cheesy. I love it. Okay, first off, he does come with a display base, and it does have multiple functions to it. And it also includes a display stand. So if you wanted to get him into like flight poses, stuff like that, or maybe his transitioning into Shazam, you could go that route as well. What also would work for a nice transition, just to note this, if you have the old DC Direct Billy Batson, you could actually have him maybe standing on the base and then have him transitioning in the air with the screaming face and the lightning bolt hitting his chest. You could go that route. It's just an idea. But I unfortunately don't have that Billy Batson, which I would like to find. But you can remove this peg hole right here on the back. You just kind of pop this back, and then you would want to insert this into this hole. I kind of said this with other Mezco reviews. I wish that they would include a separate hole, another hole just for this, instead of having, to pop this out and then go through all that. Nah, just give us another hole, please. That would make things a lot easier. Especially if you're paying $80 to $100, just, make this more accessible. So it's just a little minor nitpick that I have, little gripe with the display stands. Also, the other gripe that I have is that these pegs are quite shallow. I would like it if Mezco started making these pegs a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, not too long, not where I'm showing where it needs to be, but maybe just a little bit taller than it's supposed to be. Or than it is, I should say, because I just feel like that would work better for this figure really staying inside the stand, or on the stand, excuse me. As far as the display option stand right here, it does have little appendages right here where you can bend. It does have swivels right here, swivels at here, and then it does have swivels up here, and it does have a swivel right there, so you can open up the claw. And you can also adjust the grip right here by just using a little bit of a screwdriver, a little bit of a Phillips head right there, and you can tighten these joints so they don't wobble or move around or anything like that. Not that they do, but it's nice that you have that option to tighten those down. Okay, so first up, as far as the accessories go, we've got the Mr. Atom head. It is battle damaged. Obviously, you could see that there's a punch mark in the side of his head. Looks pretty cool. It's nice that they actually they gave us this head. It's pretty cool that they decided to give us two other little accessories with the figure itself. But it looks really cool that you got this nice punch mark, so you could even line that up with his fist hands and do a little diorama piece if you wanted to go that route as well. Really nice sculpt for the head itself. You've got a nice, almost I want to say translucent eyes. So those red eyes are like a translucent. You could see into the head itself. Looks pretty cool. There's no eyes or anything behind it, but it does give off that look for it. So looks really good nonetheless. Very pleased with this nice little accessory right here. I like the sculpt and detail for the bullet portion of the head, I like to call it. Looks pretty cool. And then obviously the mouth right there, that looks nice. And then you've got his little, I guess you want to call these tentacle pieces coming down. And nice sculpt work overall. Nice paint detail for the little connector portions right here. Those look pretty cool. On the back, it's just pretty much just like black paint, but you do have, like I said, a lot of battle damage right here. You actually have some gray paint shading going throughout the side of the head. So overall, looks really good. Very pleased with this accessory. Okay, up next we've got the Mr. Mind accessory, which is pretty cool. Nice little adversary for that they included with this pack. Just really good job on the overall detail of this guy. Very pleased with how he turned out. Even those little goggles just look so cool. The little red dots on him look so nice. Everything's pretty crisp and clean as far as that's concerned. And then flipping it around to the side, like I said, yet again, looks really crisp and clean. No issues there at all. And the little antlers look cool. The face looks really nice. Just a cool little accessory. Okay, up next we've got his two kind of gripping hands, kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, maybe Hadouken hands. But looks really cool. Very nice sculpt. It's very consistent with the skin tone, so you don't have any differentiation between skin tones, so no issue there. Okay, up next we've got our kind of like flat flying pose hand. If you wanted to have flying poses right here, or just kind of like a relaxed hand if you just wanted to have him maybe with a nice neutral vanilla relaxed pose. You could go with that route. So okay, up next we've got his lightning effect, and I'm going to show exactly how that looks on the body in a second, but I just kind of wanted to show the nice translucent blue that we have here. Very nicely done. I really like the way that this looks overall, and if you get your lighting just right, oh man, does this look really cool. Like I said, you could definitely use this in the flight pose if you wanted to, maybe having the him flying up and his transition from Billy to Shazam happens in midair. You could go that route with this hitting his chest. It just looks so cool. I'm so glad they included this. There's actually a piece that I wish Mattel would have included a long time ago with Shazam. I just feel like it was something that was necessary and something that was cheap enough. I feel like you could have included with that said figure. Okay, and here's what the lightning pretty much looks like when it's attached to his chest. Looks really cool. Very nicely done as far as it lining up with the chest and everything. Just so well done. I just love this piece. It looks so good. And then obviously we're going to talk about the head now. This is what the head looks like. The screaming kind of whited out eyes head. It is just so good looking. Pretty much all the head sculpts here are very well done. I don't have any issues with them. For me, it's just personal preference. I just prefer that just grinning, cheesy, heroic looking face. I love it. But this is such a good lightning effect. I love it. It fits so nice and flush. You don't have to worry about it popping off or anything like that. As you can see here, I'll give it the wiggle test, and it's not coming off. So really nice fitment for that, and overall just a wonderful addition. Okay, and up next we've got his kind of relaxed face, and like I said, This is another just really just well done, consistent looking face. None of the faces look different from each other. It just looks like they have different expressions from each other, but just the overall sculpt and detail of this head, I just love it. By God. Okay, and last up, just to note it, all 1/12 scale Mezco figures usually come with this bag, so it's a nice little accessory bag in case you get rid of the packaging. Okay, so as far as his articulation does go, his head can swivel at a full 360 rotation. You can get it all the way around if you want to. I just snapped his neck and now he's dead. But there you go. He can tilt side to side. Really good range of motion with that side to side tilt. Very good job with the ball peg right there. He can look back. I want to say back enough to where you can get, and there's also a neck joint right here, so you can really get him in some pretty decent flying poses right there, so you don't have to worry about the flight poses being hindered. He can look down very well. Oh, let's check the job turkeys. Oh, yeah, we got some job turkeys up in here. So there's the job turkeys. And then we can do you can't do a full 360 rotation, and I don't recommend that you try because you don't want to start stretching out this cloth. And, you know, this is all cloth. This is all eventually over time going to break down. That's, I want to say the one major issue that I have with Mezco figures is I just don't see them lasting the test of time. But it's all about how you take care of your action figures, I suppose, at the end of the day. But anyway, you can get good range of motion in that joint. He also does have a butterfly joint right there. You can get his arm to go up that far. Really good range of motion there. And it does mirror on the other side, so you don't have any issues there. He does have a bicep swivel, and he does have a double jointed elbow. So good job there with that. He does have a wrist swivel, and then he does have a wrist hinge which goes up and down and back and forth if you need it to. You kind of have to swivel that ball around to get it to go back and forth, but you can get it to go. It's kind of similar to SH Figuarts as far as that ball joint does go. Oops, his head just popped off. That's okay. We'll just remove that cape really quick, and then you can get his ab crunch going forward and back. He can pivot side to side. He can also swivel. I want to say no waist joint, and if it is there on mine, it's quite frozen, but I don't think that there's one there. But anyway, you've got the diaphragm joint anyway. He can do the splits about this far. That's about as far as I'm going to go because I don't want to split the seam right here. So, but you can get the good splits right there. And then we've got the leg going forward. We've got the leg going back a little bit hindered due to the sculpting of the rear end, but that's not a big deal. And then we do have an upper thigh swivel. We have a double jointed knee, and then we have a boot swivel. We do have an ankle that can point the toe. It can point the heel, and it does have a little bit of ankle pivot, but not a whole lot, and 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Okay, as far as sculpt and detail go, like I said, all the sculpt work on him is pretty darn good. I want to say that the majority of him is cloth, so I guess you consider this the cloth sculpt. So we'll just go with that. But the cape looks really cool. Like I said, like I showed already, it is a removable piece, so you can take that off if you want to. But just taking a look at the cape really quick, let me get him out of here. Looks really good. I like this beautiful design. Like I said, this is all cloth. Nice little ribbons right here going down the side. And then on the back portion for the collared piece, looks really good. Nicely sewn. This beautiful, nice, vibrant white for the cloth. And then we've got some gold trim going around the bottom. And there is a wire in there, so you can pose this any way you want, really, pretty much. So you don't have to worry about, the cape not going the way you want it to, because it does have a wire in there, and you should be okay. I do think that there's a wire up top on the collared piece, too. So if you didn't want this collared piece floating up, you can just push it down like that, and it'll stay. So no issues there. And then we have this nice little, I want to say collared piece right here to kind of hold down the cape onto the figure. Looks really cool. So very nicely done with the cape. Moving on to the figure, we've got some nice, I guess I want to say stitching right here for his collar piece. And then his chest piece is nicely done. Very crisp and clean with all the stitching. Don't have any issues. Don't have any issues with fraying or anything like that. Got a nice little button right there, a little gold button. And then we've got this pretty consistent gold for all of the cloth piece, and then we got his little sash, his little belt sash right here. Looks really cool. Very pleased with that as well. I already pointed out the gauntlets. Gauntlets are nicely sculpted in nice plastic material, which is good. I'm kind of glad that they're plastic. It looks better. The hands are pretty well done. And then moving on to the leg portions, pretty much all you're getting here is just a red cloth. So there's that. It does have a little bit of a droopy costume syndrome in the crotch piece, but it's okay, no big deal. For the boots look pretty good. They're all plastic, nice gold plastic. That looks pretty nice, and that's pretty much it for Sculpt and Detail. Okay, as far as size comparisons go, we've got two Marvel Legends right here. On the right, we've got Multiple Man on the Bucky Cat body mold. On the left, we've got Luke Cage on the Hyperion body mold, so I think he fits in pretty nice with Marvel Legends. Next up, we've got two female Marvel Legends. On the left, we've got Psylocke, and on the right, we've got Valkyrie. Okay, up next, we've got a WWE Elite figure in Shawn Michaels on the left, and on the right, we've got a NECA AVP Capcom Mad Predator. Okay, up next, we've got a DC Collectibles New 52 Shazam on the left, and on the right, we've got the Alex Ross DC Direct Shazam. Up next, we've got two DC Universe Classics. We've got Miss Marvel on the right, and then on the left, we've got Marvel Boy. Okay, next up, we've got the Matty Collector exclusive Club Infinite Earths San Diego Comic-Con exclusive New 52 Shazam. On the right, I'm glad I got all that in there. And then on the left, we've got the DC Universe Classics Shazam. And last up, we've got a Motu Classics in Vicor on the left. And this wouldn't be a video if he wasn't in it. And on the right, there's Gideon Heavens brand. Okay, so my final thoughts for the Mezco Shazam. I really like this figure. I got just a couple little gripes with it. The ankle articulation I wish was just a little bit better. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's just stuff I'm pointing out. The other thing, I want to say the major thing that's got me worried about most Mezco figures, and this is most of them, is the cloth breaking down over time, fraying or just coming undone, or not staying attached to the points of articulation where it is. Or if you overexert certain portions, the threading could become unraveled over time. But it all depends on how you take care of your figure, you know. But anyway, that's just my my only major real gripe. I love all the accessories he comes with. I want to say the last gripe, actually I should mention this also, is the display stand. I kind of wish that they would just add one more peg hole in the display stand so you can have the option of having both. But that's a nitpick gripe. Who cares? But obviously you can see he's on his display stand here and he looks fantastic. I love the lightning bolt. I love the extra heads. Everything is very consistent with this figure. The range of motion, the articulation is very well done. I just wish the ankles were a little bit better. It's not a big deal. Like I said, another nitpick gripe that I have. I love the Mr. Mind and the Mr. Atom head that he came with. I think it's a nice little touch to throw in there. Even the nice little collector's bag is pretty cool. Overall, just a fantastic piece. I'm going to give this definitely a 2 thumbs up. There's one thumb, and there's the other thumb. So we got the 2 thumbs, and I bumped him a little bit, but he's just jiggling. He's just jiggling. He's having a good time. So there's 2 thumbs up, full recommend here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to. If not, that's cool too. But if you do, hit the bell for notifications until you see 2 little parentheses hanging over the bell. Be sure to hit the like button if you want to and you like the content and you want to see more. If you don't, let me know in the comments below how I can improve my content. But that's it for me, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.